The body has a definite role to play in collaborative conversations. One reason for holding collaborative conversations is to tap into different kinds of intelligences. And perhaps the most underutilized intelligence that I know of is the role of the body. Our bodies are not just skin and bones. They are networks of intelligences that have profound impact on how we live and work. And so I use a lot of body-based awareness in developing collaborative conversations. The first of which is listening. Actually, it's incorrect to say that collaborative conversations start with shared understanding, because they really start with listening. If there's no listening going on, there's no communication happening, and therefore no collaboration. A little side note. A few years ago, I was asked by a professor, a friend of mine, who's a friend of a friend, who's a professor at San Francisco State. He teaches a graduate level course in communications. So I got there with my then colleague at the time. And we divided the class into two and gave everybody markers and Post-its and said, we're gonna have a little contest. Who can generate the biggest list? And the list you're gonna generate is all the words and short phrases you can think of when you think of the word communication. Well, they each generated within three numbers of each other. So they're very similar lists. And they had Twitter and AOL Instant Messenger and IMing and texting and blah, 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 and all these things. And one word was not found on either list. And the professor was in one of the groups too. And that word was listening. And we pointed that out. The professor was a little aghast. And everybody in the class went, wow. And to me, it's not a surprise. We live in a culture that is very much about getting your message out there. You know, hone your elevator speech down to 7 seconds and, you know, get your drip emails going, all this stuff about push stuff out there. But if there's no receptivity, if there's no listening going on, there can't be any collaboration. And I help people use their breath to deepen their listening by walking them through different levels of breath tied to different things to listen for. One of which is letting go of story and content and moving into what's it just like to be in the presence of this person? How does my body respond? What impressions am I receiving from them? How can I develop empathy for where they're coming from? What are their passions? What are the things that they're afraid of? What are the things that are really driving them? What do they feel guilty about? If I know these things, then I can have a much more powerful conversation than if they're just the marketing guy or the sales guy or the accountant or the lawyer. It's really important, if we're going to learn who we are, to recognize that our bodies instinctively know. You've probably had the experience of walking into a room and instantly knowing it's safe in here. Oh, I like that person. I'm just drawn to them. I don't know why. Conversely, most people have had the experience of walking into a room and going, whoa, something's going on here. I'm not sure what's happening, but my spidey sense is tingling, you know. That is the body as a proprioceptive intelligence. It has its own awareness. And most of the time we tend to ignore that and try to be rational. So if we're going to learn how to collaborate, we have to incorporate both the body-based intelligence and emotional intelligence as well.